What is the weight of a World Cup in football? A tournament of only 7 games cannot define a season, but it also cannot be treated like any other championship. Lionel Messi was elected the best player in the world for the 8th time after one of the best individual performances in World Cup history and crowned his career with the sport's biggest trophy. However, on the other side, we had an extraterrestrial who scored more than 50 times in the year and won everything with Manchester City. In the end, a competition between 2 outstanding players. But with the Argentine taking home another Ballon d'Or after being elected 7 times as the Messi of Barcelona, now he comes to the competition as Messi of Argentina, but with some controversy. That's why today you will find out if Messi really deserved the Ballon d'Or. My name is Daniel, welcome, and here I will bring match analysis, highlights, trivia, and everything that happens in the world of sports, so don't waste time, subscribe to the channel, and leave your like. Messi started the season with a magical start at PSG. He was in his 2nd year at the French club and had already gone through the adaptation period. The expectations of the charming Messi we knew at Barcelona filled the streets of Paris. With the start of the season, things seemed to be going well, especially in the Champions League group stage, where he contributed to 8 goals in just 5 games. And within this context, the World Cup arrived to crown not only 2022 but also Lionel Messi's career. It was supposed to be the last World Cup for the star, and, of course, it carried less weight because he had already won 2 titles with the Argentine national team, the Copa America against the Brazilian team and the final against Italy. The expectations were enormous, but destiny managed to make reality surpass dreams. Argentina not only won the World Cup, but Messi delivered one of the greatest individual performances in the competition's history. He was named the best player in 6 of the 7 Argentine games, becoming the first player in history to score a goal in all stages of the tournament: group stage, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the famous championship final. In the group stage, his famous game-saving goal against Mexico was perhaps the most important of his career, the goal that gave Argentina a breather when they were almost choking during the knockout rounds. He was involved in 7 of his team's 10 goals, not to mention his dribbles and influence in building plays. In the World Cup final, I think it speaks for itself. It was perhaps the greatest game in the history of football, with Argentina and France drawing 3-3, going to penalties, and ultimately, the title going to the Argentine national team. In total, Messi in the 2022 World Cup had 7 games, 7 goals, 3 assists, and 10 goal involvements. He was named the best player in the competition, the 2nd highest goal scorer, a champion, and the best player. At the moment of winning the World Cup, Messi was undeniably one of the greatest players of all time, and he started 2022 as the best player in the world by a wide margin. However, the award for the best player in the world is not limited to just one semester, and if the record were only until the World Cup final, he would have been unquestionably chosen. However, the year continued, and opinions began to have some controversies. The number 30 took a break at PSG, and it was clear that he wasn't performing well for the French club, especially after silencing all of France in the World Cup final. PSG was eliminated in the round of 16 of the Champions League, with Messi already looking apathetic. To make matters worse for the French, his performance also dropped dramatically in domestic leagues. But he did manage to finish as the top assist provider in League One. Meanwhile, on the other side of Europe, Erling Haaland had an extraordinary season and was considered the best player in the world, winning the major titles and being the standout in all of them. Haaland finished the season with 57 games, 56 goals, 9 assists, and a total of 65 goal involvements, including 36 goals in the Premier League, a record in the history of the competition, and another 12 goals in the UEFA Champions League, making him the top scorer in Manchester City's historic win. In contrast, Messi played 54 games, scored 38 goals, provided 26 assists, and had a total of 63 goal involvements. The goal involvements of both players had their similarities, but the World Cup trophy gave Messi an extra edge, resulting in his 8th Ballon d'Or. However, Haaland delivered goals and assists in crucial moments, and many wondered if a 4-week tournament with only 7 games could define an entire season. In 2010, the criteria used were different. Of course, we can't make the same comparison. Messi played exceptionally well in 2010, but Wesley Sneijder's World Cup was also of a high standard at the time. FIFA's criteria often generate discussions among fans. But the fact is that Haaland had to settle for second place and the Copa Trophy for being the top scorer of the season. This was the first time the Comet had participated in the Ballon d'Or, but it certainly won't be the last, especially now that Messi and Cristiano are no longer playing in Europe. It is likely that the new stars of this generation will take the stage and seek their own individual achievements. So, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., and Haaland will continue to compete for the podium among themselves. Even the winner of the Ballon d'Or of the night acknowledged this, commenting on his latest achievement in European territory. Now is the time for the young ones to take the baton. Haaland had an incredible year, winning the Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup, being the top scorer in all of them. This award today could easily have been his, and I hope he achieves it in the coming years because he truly deserves it. Mbappe has spent years at PSG, and if you are competitive and like to win like everyone else, I have no doubt it will be a beautiful battle between Mbappe and Haaland and other players. There are many young players. It will be a beautiful competition. During the ceremony, Messi also generated discussion in many other moments, especially when goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez was named the best goalkeeper in the world and received the award amid strong boos from the French president, who apparently still held grudges against him. Dibu's highlights started playing on the screen, and the cameras quickly focused on Mbappe, who looked unhappy to see that historic save of his in the World Cup final. Mbappe was also not pleased when he was named the third best player in the world. The Frenchman was visibly frustrated when it was announced that he hadn't won the Ballon d'Or, considering his 3 goals in the final. If it weren't for a certain goalkeeper, he would most likely have been the first place, as he had more goal involvements than Messi. Whether it's fair or not, the fact is that when he arrives in Florida and opens the gate to his house, the Ballon d'Or will find its place on Messi's shelf, a prize to crown the greatest player of this generation, who managed to make the world fall in love with him and even a part of the planet turn celeste. During the World Cup, Messi conquered the tournament, excelling in many parts of the field, capable of bending like a bow and arrow and functioning as the entire attacking system. This was how he won the previous 7 Ballon d'Or awards, but this one had a different flavor. It wasn't the Messi of Barcelona who traveled to France to claim this prize. This time, it was the Argentine Messi, who played in the youth ranks of Newell's Old Boys. The Messi who crossed the Atlantic to play in Spain as a young boy with his father, seeking an opportunity to become a professional. The Messi who suffered numerous runner-up finishes with Argentina and even retired from his own national team. The Messi who won this tournament was the husband of Antonella and the father of Thiago, Matteo, and Ciro. The Argentine who looked at the Dutchman and delivered the classic Camira Bobo. The Messi who stood at the forefront and proved that a South American had dominated the world. This was the Messi who won the 8th Ballon d'Or and, like the genius he is, saved his best version for the end. On the other hand, Erling Haaland, an extraordinary and fearless striker, scored 36 goals in the season, was the star of Manchester City, and could easily have taken this prize home.